Hi, everyone. My name is Alexis Benitez, and today I'll be presenting my Service Leadership Project number 5, titled Knights Do What's Right, a PBIS initiative. Vance Charter School is a K 12 charter school located in Henderson, North Carolina. Our mission is very simple: to educate all children and the whole child. At Vance Charter, we serve around 950 students, majority white, and evenly split between males and females. Our staff includes one director, 3 administrative roles, and approximately 100 other faculty members. When reviewing school culture and safety data, we have several strengths at Vance Charter School. Teachers reported feeling safe and supported on the NC Teacher Working Condition Survey, as well as very high ratings around the environment of the school. In addition, the audit of cultural practices reflected generally positive feedback from all stakeholders. However, the data also highlighted some areas for improvement, including limited staff involvement in budgeting and hiring, the absence of a consistent system for recognizing student and staff success, and addressing discipline concerns, primarily in the upper grades in regards to cheating, disrespect, and attendance. So, based on this data and conversations with my school leadership, I chose to pilot a small scale positive behavioral interventions and supports, otherwise known as PBIS, initiative. This project essentially recognizes students who consistently demonstrate positive behavior or those that show meaningful improvement through a monthly incentive event. Also, students with greater behavioral needs will be able to participate in small group interventions led by our counselor and myself, which will focus on social emotional skills. The overall goal of the project is to reduce discipline referrals, promote positive behavior, and just better support our students. Scholarly research does support the project by consistently demonstrating that PBIS is a good framework for improving student behavior, reducing exclusionary discipline, increasing instructional time, and cultivating a positive school climate. However, the research does show that the challenge exists in successfully implementing the framework, which requires an ongoing collaboration, consistency, and staff commitment. Initial stakeholder feedback was pretty positive. Staff appreciated recognizing students for making good choices and introducing PBIS on a smaller scale. However, there were some concerns focused on the logistics and whether or not the program would actually be effective, indicating a need for additional communication and training for implementation and staff buy in. Key action steps throughout this project included extensive data analysis, research around PBIS and best practices, the creation of a PBIS team, which helped develop the framework and execute, defining team roles and scheduling, developing a plan to present this information to staff, students, and families. And then, when in implementation mode, the counselor and I will be providing small group interventions for students to help build relationships and just provide regulation strategies. And then, monthly, we will determine who qualifies for the incentive event, and students who meet the established behavioral expectations will earn participation in a monthly hangout so that they can play games, participate in activities, purchase snacks, and just have time to celebrate their positive choices. The quantitative data I will be collecting throughout the project include monthly discipline referral data, which will hopefully show a reduction in the number of referrals, records documenting the number of small group sessions to ensure that this part of the project is implemented regularly, and then perhaps as an indirect data source, student attendance to determine whether there's any improvement in this area as we work to foster a positive school environment. Qualitative data will include staff feedback around the project with the anticipated indication of a noticeable improvement in student behavior, positive student feedback on the monthly incentive event, and positive student feedback from those participating in the small group sessions. In general, this project has strengthened my leadership skills by improving my communication, planning, organization, collaboration, database decision making, and the ability to build trust with others. In addition, it has allowed me to influence student behavior and overall school culture outside of just the classroom setting. Thank you all so much for listening.